What is going on, guys? This is Daniel, and today I'll be giving you my observations and insights about the Miami Heat. I've taken a look at a few of their games early in the season, and I'll be breaking down some things they run on offense and other miscellaneous things, so let's get to it. First, let's start with offense. So they run a lot of horns, including the basic horns pick and roll, and this set is pretty effective for them because they have Chris Bosh, who can stretch the floor at the top of the key so his man can't help. That often leaves the perimeter defender helping off the weak side corner so a simple swing pass can get an open three. Dragic gets penetration, and again the weak side wing helps out, allowing for the kickout pass, and Winslow nails the three. This time Dragic can't get penetration, so he'll simply get a rescreen from Whiteside and they can work the pick and roll. Here's a slight variation. Instead of using the rescreen, Dragic will hit Bosh and then set a down screen for Wade in the corner, who then receives the dribble pitch, and they get a foul out of this. This time, instead of passing it to the big man on top, Dragic will simply execute a dribble handoff with Wade. It's quicker, and look what Wade has here. 3-shooter spotting up, Whiteside rolling for a lob, all while he has penetration toward the middle. This variation is extremely difficult to defend. Here's another horn set they like to run called Screen the Screener Flare, where Dragic will set a ball screen for Wade and then receive a flare screen looking for a 3-point shot. They ran this all the time for Ray Allen a few years ago, but it's just not as effective without him. Still, even if Dragic isn't open, Whiteside can ball screen for Wade. Here they run it again, and the weak side action frees up a drive for Chalmers. The Heat also run sets out of horns where the ball is entered to the high post first, and this is horns double, where a double staggered screen is set for the weak side wing, and here Wade can curl it and hit a layup. Almost every NBA team runs this same exact set, but I don't mind it because it is a nice set, and here they get good ball movement off of it, and a 3 for Johnson. If run incorrectly though, this set can often result in long twos if the screens aren't set right or if the man coming off the screen doesn't try to drive, and also if the on-ball defender simply goes under these screens, it can force the mid-range jumper, and that's a pretty smart way to defend this play. I like this. Out of horns double, Bosh will simply execute a pick and roll with Green on the strong side while the double is on the weak side, taking away help defense. This is a decent set called Slice Stagger, but I do not like how the Heat run it. There's a shuffle screen there, and then a double staggered screen for the man in the corner, but way too often they simply go to an isolation post up off of this set with no great weak side movement, and this can result in a lot of tough shots. A fine play can get stagnant real quick when run like this, and this post up is just not very efficient. But when they run the set through and they don't look for that isolation post-up, it can be an effective set, and here Dragic gets a score off the double. If you put Wade in the corner, he can come off the double and be a slasher, and here he kisses it off the glass. This is a very basic set, but I like it because it takes advantage of the Heat's personnel. Dragic will simply rub off of Whiteside, and Whiteside will set a ball screen for Wade, and Wade being the slasher and passer that he is, and Whiteside being the lob threat, this play can get some very good shots. This is a very good set they run for Green called Thumbs Up. He'll curl around 2 screens looking for an alley-oop, and if he doesn't get the alley-oop, he can come off the second screen and use it as a pin down, and here he gets an open 3. The broadcast cut out most of this play, but you can see out of this action they get the alley-oop. One play that is very difficult to defend in their offense is the Chris Bosh pick and pop. He is shooting nearly 37% from 3 this season, making that 3-point shot very efficient, and he is obviously capable of putting it on the floor if they run him off the 3-point line, and here he draws a foul. And this time he'll get run off the 3-point line, drive, and make the simple pass, which results in a 3. Cutting to the basket at exactly the right time is a skill, and Dwayne Wade has mastered it. He's very adept at seeing when his man is ball watching, and then he cuts in behind him and gets a layup. And this time, not only does he cut, but he frees himself up for the layup after a nice pump fake. One of Dragic's old tricks is just keeping his dribble alive along the baseline and looking to distribute. You can see how patient he is here, finding Winslow cutting. And this time he'll drive all the way around the world and then hit a floater. One of the most underrated skills in the whole NBA has to be Josh McRoberts' passing. He's easily one of the best passing big men in the league, and his ability to operate on the perimeter and make good passes is very valuable. And he also works really well on the Heat's give and go play, finding Tyler Johnson on a backdoor cut. And him and Johnson strike again here on another great pass. And while he's still raw offensively, there are flashes of good passing moments from Justice Winslow, and here he drives and kicks out to Chalmers. And again, he shows good court vision on this dish out to Chalmers again. As you probably already know, Dragic is not having a great season so far, and he in the past has thrived in transition, and it doesn't help that the Heat play at one of the lowest paces in the NBA, but also when he does get the opportunities, he doesn't seem to have the same explosion or burst, and he's missing shots he normally makes, and if I'm a Heat fan, I'm a bit worried considering he just signed a 5-year deal. Whiteside is having a very nice season, but he still is a horrendous passer, even for a big man, and trying to watch him make plays at the high post and low post, no thank you. Now moving on to defense. The Heat have one of the best defenses in the NBA, and one big reason is the rotations. Here Whiteside steps up on the drive, and then watch how Dragic will sink and fill, helping the helper and getting the steal. But it's the advanced rotations that sets them apart. Here Winslow will sink and fill, and then the two perimeter defenders will have to zone between 3 shooters in case of a kickout pass. Here when the pass goes to the corner, Green will take the first pass, and then Johnson is prepared to rotate to the second pass, and Winslow would execute a switch. But here Winslow hustles nicely and the switch isn't necessary, and they force a tough shot. Hassan Whiteside is one of the best defensive players in the league thus far, and I just want to focus on some of his effortless blocks. Some of the blocks he makes just look so effortless and easy. I guess that's what happens when you're athletic and have a 7'7" wingspan. He leads the league in blocks by a mile, and it's just pretty incredible watching him. And while Whiteside gets all the defensive attention, and deservedly so, Bosh is quietly a very good defensive player in his own right. Here he is protecting the basket, and this time he gets a block on Okafor. Here you'll see him switch onto a smaller guard. He's very aggressive and forces a tough miss. And this time he's stuck onto a perimeter player, but he'll still make his rotation and then sprint to close out on Jeremy Lamb, running him off the 3-point line. And he's a 12-year veteran, so you know he knows how to contain the pick and roll, putting enough space between him and the ball handler to recover and force a tough shot at the basket. And as expected, even as a rookie, Winslow has been a plus defensive player, and here he makes a nice rotation and strips Hawes. I'm just going to focus on his off-ball defense here, and this time he helps out on a screen nicely to force the miss. And good instincts on this play, reading the pick and roll and getting the steal and a breakaway. The Heat are full of good defenders, including Tyler Johnson, who sinks and fills here, forcing a turnover. And he's very active and alert, and this time he will not get backdoored and he gets the steal. And just impressive effort here, sprinting the length of the court to get the chase down block. I like this. At the beginning of a quarter, Spoelstra dialed up full court man-to-man pressure, not to get a steal, but to pressure the ball handlers and just to take valuable seconds off the shot clock. And notice how they are doing this mainly with bench players on the floor, because bench players don't play as much, so they can afford to expend more energy per minute they are on the floor. I like this, and I wouldn't even mind seeing this more often after dead balls, just a few times a game to make it tougher on the offense. Well, there you have it, guys. Their offense could be more creative, but their defense is stout, and it was fun for me to watch their defense and see how they really lock teams down. Well, thanks for watching, and see you next time.